Hello, welcome to Friday Puzzle Time, the chess series where we don't only try to solve chess puzzles but also to learn something from them. Today, as usual, I've selected a puzzle from a real game between chess masters. Both players are rated about 2000 at the time of the game, so whilst they're not grandmasters, they are pretty strong players, and I've linked the game below. I've also mentioned a link to the book that I got this puzzle from, called the Ultimate Chess Puzzle Book, which I highly recommend because I think it's full of really good puzzles and they're selected in a way that help you learn, in my opinion, really well. So let's dive into the position. It is black to move, and in the game black played bishop to a5 as there is a threat on c7 where the knight can jump in and fork the king and the rook. Black tried to protect the pawn, and if things continue as usual, everything will remain fairly equal, but white has a good move to basically establish a serious advantage. So I'm gonna ask you to pause the video, think for a few seconds or a minute, and let's see if you can find the best move, the only move for white. All right, so if you found the best move, congratulations, you know how to attack, and if not, let's see what we can learn from the solution. The best move in the position is, despite the fact that black protected its pawn, it's still advantageous to white to actually take it with the knight. And the reason for that is you're checking the opponent and you're attacking the rook, so the opponent needs to deal with the check. They could move the king to d8, for example, but then they'll just lose the rook. And if they take with the bishop, then they will lose their queen. So this is what you had to see, that this bishop is basically chilling on a5, protecting c7 and pinning the knight, and this is what it's called, overwork or overwhelmed. You can call it whatever you want, but basically this bishop is overloaded, let's say, and it's doing too much work. So by playing knight from b5 to c7, you just deflect it from the queen if they take, or they have to accept and resign to the fact that they will lose the rook. So why did I choose this puzzle, which when explained like that, I think it looks fairly simple and easy to find. It's only a 1-2 maneuver in order to win some material as white. Well, the cool thing is that in the real game, actually white played queen to d2. So they missed this tactic as well. So again, this makes me really excited about chess, because even 2000 players, even in slow games, might miss a tactic like that in early game. And if you look at the game, I mean, it's not like they make many blunders by the end of the game. The game finishes in some sort of draw, and they played overall very well. So that made me think, what more can we learn from this puzzle than to just deflect the bishop, which is pretty cool on its own, but I think if you play enough chess, you start spotting more often these things. So I think what will be interesting here, and this is the second puzzle of this video, is to think, if you didn't play this move as black, because that's what black played, right? And we now know it's a mistake. But if you didn't play that move, then what would you play? Because I mentioned at the start of the video, before this move was played, the position is equal. And after this move is played, only one move that white did not find, gives white the advantage. So to get into the chess player's mindset, like, why would they play this move? And I think the reason is because there is no like good looking moves for black to play here in order to maintain the equality. So let's flip the board for a sec and think, what would you play as black here? And there are three moves that more or less maintain equality and allow you to continue the game. Obviously what black played is a mistake, which went unpunished in real life, but still it was a bad move. So what three moves would you play here for black to continue? Pause the video and we discuss a bit more. All right, cool. So the moves that black can play in this position, which, you know, maintain the game, are all, in my opinion, not good looking moves. So that's why black didn't play them and then got distracted and played the move that just loses on the spot. So if we look at the position and think about what's happened, it's black who is attacking, like the queen, the king, even the queen, the bishop, even the knight are well placed to execute some sort of attack. So with this counter attack that white made by playing knight to b5 and making this threat, black needs to now be on the defensive. So the only three moves that maintain equality would be to play king to d8, protecting the pawn, and then you still maintain whatever attacking plans you have with your pieces. But who likes to break their castling rights without a reason? Nobody. So I don't think black really considered that move, which is probably the best move. What else can black play? You need to defend the pawn, right? So the other move that you should consider, and it's probably one of the best ones, is just to slide the queen back to e5, which in a serious game, once you're like a trained chess player, just looks horrible, wasting another move with the queen, making it a little bit more defensive and not really attacking anything. Like this is defended, or at least right now you're piling on into it, but it has already two defenders and it can easily get more defenders if needed. So that doesn't do anything. This knight here on b5 is also protected. So this move is just like a surrender of the attack, which most players' egos really wouldn't allow. But yes, it defends the pawn and the game goes on. And the last one, probably best move as well, or one of the best moves, is to take the knight, which forces white to deal with this check. So then white could take with the knight and obtain a fairly good position. But again, white's attack is also finished at the moment. Or maybe white can be cheeky and play a bit of a less accurate move, which is b takes the bishop, to maintain this pin. And again, here the only good move for black is king to d8. So if black doesn't play that, again, it's not looking very good. I mean, they can also move their queen to e5, but in that case then white will develop, as the computer suggests, and so on and so forth. The game will continue again, but in any case it is difficult for black, in my opinion, to spot all these moves. Let's remove all these arrows, and that's why I think black wanted to play a move that looks like it defends, also maintains all the pressure from earlier. So I guess black's thought was like, this move allows me to continue attacking, and it was a big mistake. As I mentioned, in the game white played queen to d2, the normal developing move, but not the one that seizes the initiative and allows you to either take the rook or the queen. So why am I blabbing on about what black would have done? It's just to show you a bit more that I guess chess is hard, and there is so many possibilities and so many tricks and traps that even experienced players can fall into one of them, even as early as, what are we here on, move 7. So yeah, on move 7 black basically blundered the game. On move 8 white, kindly enough, gave them another chance, and as I mentioned, the game finished in a draw. So hope that was interesting. A couple of different perspectives, positions to consider. If you find all of the moves that I asked you, 1 for white and 3 or so for black, well done. Clearly you're not gonna lose a game on move 7, which, as you can see, even some of the better players in the world do. Let me know what you thought, and see you in the next one. Please, if you're watching this video, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. Really want to grow, and I've seen some big growth in the last couple of weeks, so really appreciate to the guys who are watching every time. And again, hope I can give you another fun puzzle next week. Bye.